Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a whole new channel. This is Selvalis, and I am back with something completely new. I have left the video gaming sphere, for YouTube at least, and I am going to start a Warhammer channel. I have recently got into the hobby in November 2024. Bit of a coping mechanism. And now we are halfway through May 2025, and I have been collecting, building, and painting, and I'm very proud of the collection and how it's coming along, especially some of the paint. So I wanted to show it off. So this is a bit of an introduction. I'm going to tell you what factions I'm collecting and show one of the minis from them. Most of them are painted up. Some are in progress. Some are brand new. So I'll start with the newest faction. So I am doing Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar. I do have some old world minis, but I have not built them as no one in my local area is really interested in playing yet. When Grand Cathay comes out, a few people might get them, and then I might build up a Tomb King's army. I got the starter set for my birthday, but yeah, don't have anyone to play with really, so not a priority item right now. But what I do have a lot of is 40k and a lot of Age of Sigmar. So I will start with the newest additions to my collection. Firstly, I am intending to get Emperor's Children, but they just came out. They're very difficult to get right now, very expensive unless you want Fulgrim, because my local Warhammer shop happens to, well, one, be within driving distance, and B, has like 4 or 5 Fulgrims, because no one really wants to jump on him yet, because, yeah, Primarchs are intimidating. I have like half a Primarch right now. So Emperor's Children is on the to-do list, but all I've got is one free Tormentor, and I didn't bring that out here. I am working in a little mini workshop corner I've set up in the garage. So a counter space, and then this very handy little piece of cardboard I've set up, as well as a little painting area just off screen. I've got paints, I've got lights, I've got cans, I've got brushes. I'll make individual videos for a lot of that kind of in these first few days to show off my setup. But without further ado, the first army that and most recent I have collected is the Death Guard. So this is a champion model. Kind of picked it up to score my coin this month. Anyone who's familiar with certain memes might recognize this little nurgling in the front. But yeah, I picked up Death Guard. I started off wanting to collect Demons of Chaos. That was because of Total Warhammer. And I found out that the demons are present in both Age of Sigmar and 40k. So I thought, hey, that's a great way to get my foot in both doors at the same time. But unfortunately, they're kind of getting split up between their 4 deity armies. It's already happened in Age of Sigmar, and it's slowly happening in 40k. So while the Chaos Demons exist as an index, they are not going to remain probably through 11th edition. So I did decide to invest in the 4 God armies. So Death Guard is the most recent one I've added to my collection. And I just got to say, they are fun. Like the Plague Marines that go with this guy have been some of the most exciting models I've built. They've got a ton of detail. Green is one of my favorite colors, so of course I'm going to gravitate towards a green army. But sorry, getting used to the webcam thing. But yeah, just the level of detail on them is so much higher than even their equivalents. Next, I'm going to show off the first 40k army besides demons I went into, which was the World Eaters. So I've got a nice Khorne Berserker here. I've got a few of these. This is my test model that I was testing various painting methods on, as well as color combos. So I don't have anything fully painted yet, but World Eaters was the first faction besides the demons that I got into for 40k, since the Collect Demons box was Khorne Demons, and I figured, okay, well, let's get some Khorne Space Marines. And, well, turns out World Eaters is fun. I haven't had a chance to play with them since the new Codex came out, but they're a fun get in your face army. Everyone, like, yes, it's the meme of like, okay, just go table your opponent turn two, but there's a lot more strategy involved now that the advance and charge is a lot less prevalent. But yeah, also just very cool models. Not as detailed as Death Guard, not as big as Death Guard, but still very detailed. Tells a lot of stories. Also, I magnetize all my minis, so if you see magnets, that's how I get them from point A to B. Big shout out to my friend Mel, or Cosmic Storm. She's the one who got me into the hobby in earnest and showed me how to do the magnetizing. All right, next is, to very little surprise, Thousand Suns. So this is one of my rubric Marines. I have a lot of them, so batch painting is what's going on, and admittedly, this was before I got a good brush, so not the greatest levels of control. I base them in Retributor, and then I paint in the blue. I have a very interesting story of how I came into my Thousand Suns collection. Pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity happened, and yeah, I came into most of an army very quickly. And yeah, so I've got some rubrics, I've got Terminators. I do actually have Magnus, but he is going to be a project for a lot later down the line. He's partially painted from the previous owner and partially assembled for the same reasons. All right. Last, I wanted to show off a Chaos Demon, because while they are getting split up, I still felt like investing in them. And I picked one of my favorites from Total War Warhammer 3, Skulltaker. So this is one of the most recent minis I finished giving a full paint to. And I gotta say, this guy is a lot of fun, but he required sub-assembly. The cloak had to be painted separate from the rest of him. But I'm very, very happy with how this one turned out. I just went with a box art style on him. Got the cool sword of flaming sword effect. A lot of details, a lot of small work. A lot more than your average bloodletter. Most bloodletters don't have armor, don't have an offhand. It's just their heads, their swords, and that's about it for detail work. Also, had a lot of fun with the base trying to find all the skulls. I think I technically missed one under his foot, but you know what? In my head, that one's been charred. Fire effects were a lot of fun to do too. And yeah, I have Skulltaker for the demons. Mostly I have demons of Khorne and Nurgle, but I'm going to do a show off of each individual army later. And lastly, for Age of Sigmar, Skulltaker again is representing Blades of Khorne, because I have mostly Khornate demons. I also have some Nurglings over here. Sorry, hidden in the back. So these double dip as Blade, or as Maggotkin of Nurgle, and for the Demons of Chaos. Let me see if I can get these in nice and detailed. I had a lot of fun with this one. Assembly was pretty easily, although eventually I kind of just said screw it with this guy. Just stuck him there, falling off the pile. The Nurgling model comes with a lot of freeform Nurglings, just stick them where you want. And then I had a lot of fun going through my various paints to try and find greens that I liked. Just to try and give them all some personality. On the box art, they all have the same stuff. And I would say this is halfway done painting. Like, obviously I haven't done the horns, I didn't do any of the innards, but this was still a fun little project because someone said, oh, good luck painting that. So I quickly, in like an hour, came up with this. But yeah, so this represents more demons and I guess technically Maggotkin, but one, I don't want to get demonetized right off the bat for that, so I'm not going to really say that often. And two, it's I don't have enough, even with a great unclean one, I don't have enough to accurately to field anything more than like a spearhead equivalent. All right. Lastly, I have the Osiarch Bone Reapers for Age of Sigmar. This is a Sepulchre Stalker I painted. This is done roughly in the box art. I just happened to take a little bit of Star Wars inspiration from General Grievous for the swords. Had fun playing around with edge highlighting effects on that. But I did this one more or less in the box art style to the best of my ability. And I have a lot of Osiarch. That is probably my largest or second largest army behind the Thousand Suns right now. And it's the one I have painted the most. So again, I wanted to point out this one's more or less in the box art style, but I actually do my own paint scheme for most of them. So I've got a Death Rider here, and this kind of shows off my more personal scheme, which is inspired by the armor of the Wrath of the Lich King Death Knights from World of Warcraft. So specifically, I was going for the like better colored version of the original Starting Zone armor, the Sauronite armor, which I found Nightlord Blue did a very nice job mimicking it, and then I kind of blended that with the actual Death Rider and Osiarch Bone Reaper style to end up with this. So very happy. These Death Riders have been one of my best performing units on the table. I've only got one squad of them, but I did get Xandros or Zapdos or whatever his name is. Haven't had a chance to play with him yet, but I have a painted up squad of these guys because they did work. All right, and the last thing I wanted to show off was one of the endless spells from Age of Sigmar I painted, and this probably is the best model I've painted. I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive on it later, but this is one of the endless spells. It is the Soul Reaper Carrion, and this was a challenge, but a very satisfying challenge to paint. The only model I've ever technically based. So this is tabletop ready. I took inspirations from the original art, a couple of videos I watched, and then I had my own way with a lot of the lower level or lower end stuff. The colors aren't coming through as nice as I'd like. Maybe when I take some photos and post them, it'll show better. But like, there's Hexwraith Flame on this, but it's getting like blended into the. There, you can kind of see it better now. Little green fire mixed in with the Nihilite oxide. But yeah, this is one of my best painted models in my opinion. I have the full Osiarch endless spells as well as their terrain, which is not done because that thing is a pain after storage and use. But yeah, so those are my armies. I plan to expand with more demons, which will technically unlock Disciples of Tzeentch and Hedonites of Slaanesh. I guess just one more little fun thing to show off. A very, very used Citadel color holder. Pretty much jammed now from all the layers of paint. And the sad thing is, I've already gone and like scraped off the paint from this before because it got jammed open. It's gray right now because I just painted a whole ton of Poxwalkers. I decided to give them a gray base coat before I do anything with them, which I probably won't before my next game day. But yeah, that is kind of a quick overview of the channel and what to expect. So I'm going to do more in-depth discussions and showing off some of my models first, going over what I have, how I did certain paint schemes, especially with the Osiarchs. And then eventually I'll get around to doing some painting on camera. I definitely will not be streaming any of this. So there will not be live streams. And I don't think my friends want me filming any of the games. Not that I tend to win very often. In fact, I only have one official win under my belt and a draw. But yeah, so welcome to Selvalis Warhammer.